What's up, everybody? ¿Qué la que hay, mi gente? Espero que todo bien. Wherever you are, happy Monday. Hope all is well. Rico.t.toro, back at ya. Channel based on real life experiences, personal observations, and observations of those closest to me. So if this is your first time, thanks for stopping by. Hit that subscribe. You might learn something. It might not be in the beginning. You might have to follow a little while before you learn. So, anyways, all my loyal, regular peoples, thanks again, as always. So, you know, my heart goes out to those that were, you know, were and are having really difficult times and not, you know, having ample food during the quarantines and difficult times, you know, and I'm not an insensitive jerk, so my sarcastic tone and humor in this aside, you know, I did try to help the person, and you know, and my door is open for nutritional advice and you know, health, fitness advice always. So don't let my joking or sarcasm in my delivery of this, you know, make you think that I'm just an evil person or not well intended in general. So, you know, I noticed that two specific papitas, women, did gain a decent amount of weight during quarantine. You know, not everybody was starving. And like I say, my heart goes out to those that, you know, do have and are still having rough times from this whole pandemic. You know, as well as those frontline workers, as always. You know, God bless them. So, one particular person wasn't a huge difference, but recent situation I had was kind of almost shocking to me, and that's why I'm going to talk about it. So, you know, middle of last week, we started this quarantine, and you know, I decided to call someone, you know, that I haven't seen since right before the quarantine began back in March. And you know, she's really cool, you know, really cool. I like her. She's kind of fun, you know, hang out with and stuff. But you know, so I messaged her like middle of the day last week, asked her if she wanted to come through for a bit. You know, this was like 3:30 in the afternoon, and you know, just seemed like I had a little downtime, you know, after the gym, and seemed like a good time for me. So, you know, she gets back to me about 4:45. Curfew is at 7. And she told me she was in Puerto Plata. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then she gets back to me. She tells me, you know, she'll be on the way soon. And, you know, she's notoriously slow. And she hits me back and says, what do you want me to cook? Do you have food, or I'll pick something up? Whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no time, you know. There's curfew, and on this day, you know, is during my early in the week non-alcohol fast. You know, you gotta give yourself a rest. I don't drink every day, so I'm not really wanting to drink on that day, and so that means I don't want anybody here for a long time, because usually I do keep a little bit of beverages for company, and they usually want something to drink half the time. So, like, there's no time is what I'm thinking. But I didn't know that she had a different objective, possibly, or different agenda. So often we have our agenda and we state clearly what our agenda is, and meanwhile, they got their own little wheels, their wheels are spinning, and they have their own plans and agenda regardless of what we say. So, and also let me add that sometimes admittedly I'm a little bit critical and break others' balls a little bit for, you know, some of the wrong moves or questionable moves or situations they get themselves in here. So this is me being humble and sharing my own situation, kind of one where I'm caught slipping, basically. It happens to the best of us. What could I say? Esto lo que hay. So she, you know, decides, okay, she's coming. So next thing I know, I'm kind of listening for a moto or something to pull up. So I go to the gate, open the door, and oh my God, to my surprise, you know, there used to be a show on A&E called Fit to Fat and Fat to Fit, in which personal trainers would intentionally gorge themselves with food, with junk for 90 days, blow up, get out of shape, so they could sort of empathize with their clients that they try to help and work out with them through the process of getting back into shape. Well, this is one of those, oh my God, what did I see on the back of the moto getting off, struggling to get off? This super butterball of a papita. And you know, this girl, I knew her. She's petite, you know, with enough curves, you know, very cute, adorable, you know, sweetheart of a girl. But man, what did I see? Oof. And you know, on this day, I didn't order food because, you know, time got away from me, and like I say, I figured she was going to try to come cook. But at this point, I had to let her come and at least cook. And, you know, I'm kind of a dog sometimes too. So, so yeah, I just, you know, I could have gave her a little something for her troubles and sent her on her way, which I've done before when someone is not quite what I've expected. But I wasn't even thinking on those terms this day. So, you know, I bring her in. You know, my first question is, you know, ¿Qué te pasa? ¿Estás embarazada? You know, and she's like, she adamantly, you know, pushed, you know, back and was like, no, I'm not pregnant. You know, I've been in the house bored, and I've just been eating a lot during quarantine. And so I'm asking her again, are you sure? Don't play with me, you know, are you pregnant? She says, no. I said, okay. Well, even one of my neighbors that was outside, he sort of like whispered in my ear because, you know, he saw us coming through, and he made a little comment to me, and I said, I don't think so, but I'm going to figure this out. You know, I'm just, you know, either way, I'm going to, you know, she's been offering to cook for me. You know, just like those that have my WhatsApp, you know, they might once in a while see my WhatsApp status, different plates of food that people are making for me. And so sometimes that's the angle they play, like, Rico, when can I cook for you? I want to cook for you. So that was her angle. She wanted to know when she could cook for me, and this was it. So she comes in and immediately starts cooking. And, you know, I'm looking at her, I'm looking at the ankles, you know, some of the extra obvious signs, and obsessing her. And I'm like, so you're not pregnant? No está embarazada? She's like, no embarazada. Okay, not pregnant. So she makes the pasta and everything, and pasta's pretty good, you know. And meanwhile, I'm looking at her like, you know those exercise stability balls? Well, to me, that's what the front's looking like now. And, you know, I don't joke about disabilities. You know, I have my own challenges, and I don't joke about, like, genetic health conditions, or, you know, I don't joke about those things. I take those things very seriously, and I am sympathetic or empathetic, you know, to those situations. So, you know, I'm trying to really determine, you know, really what went in her mind. And she explains to me that she wanted to gain some weight because she felt overlooked because she was so small. And, I'm like, well, I wasn't going to tell her she looked bad so much. I was just like, I said, well, personally, there are guys that, like me, that do prefer fit women or slim or flacas. Me and my moto always joke, because we have similar taste. We like flaca con culo, which is fairly slim, but they got a little bit of shape, a little bit of something, a little bit of butt, a little bit of something to work with. So, and that's how she was before, flaca con culo. And so, I'm just like, what happened? So she cooks, finishes. I swear, I wish I was lying, but I ate my plate. It was a full plate, and I didn't even finish it all. And she made enough for a neighbor if he wanted some. And they always do that. I hate when they overcook. I hate wasting food. I don't have a microwave here, and too cheap to buy one. And so I don't really like anything cooked that can't be eaten like same day. And so, and then her plate was pretty big, as big as mine, maybe a little bigger. And she's still eating like 10 minutes after I finish. I almost could tell you it was 8 to 10 minutes. I'm that good with time sometimes. So, then, fortunately at some point, I'm overhearing her talk about like being able to get a taxi, and her moto's parked at a Colmado, and she has a Pasola scooter. It's parked in Puerto Plata at a Colmado or something. So I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good. We're past curfew at this point, but she's trying to get home. This is good. So anyways, I haven't said this probably, but maybe one other time in my life, if that. But I'm looking at her, and when it's time for a little boom boom, I'm looking at her, and like I say, I may have only said this one other time, if that in my life. I'm looking at her like, there's only one way to do this. There's only really one way that I can handle this. Because like I say, we got that stability ball going on in the front, if you know what I'm saying. Tú sabes, esto lo que hay, tú sabes con la fiesta. So, I'm like, all right, so, wasn't terrible. I'm a dog, okay. So, anyways, cleaning up, and towels were one of the hardest things to get, bath towels, when I moved here, because in SOSUA, your options are like FAAATT or the supermarkets, because, and the chino ones fall apart after one use, and they're like paper thin, and they cost a little more in the supermarkets. Like in Puerto Plata, you have Jumbo and La Serena, which are like Walmart and Target. So anyways, I have a couple for me, the blue ones, and a pink one or two, a yellow one or two, for company, for guests. Well, yeah, kind of like the whole Blackbeard's Day. Blue towel for the guys, and green towels for the chicas. So she's likes this pink towel, and she grabs that. Next thing you know, she grabs like a pair of shades off the desk and starts taking selfies. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? You can have that towel, and you could take the shades with you if you can go tonight. If you leave tonight, you can take that stuff, because I just really, like I say, I don't like really having company overnight when I have to work the next morning, because it kills me to see someone else sleeping when I get up and start working. The whole time I was married, my ex-wife always had a job where she got up and went to work before I did. So that's just one of those things. I have a hard enough time, like, I'm not a morning person. It's hard enough for me in the morning. So let alone, don't like company. overnight when I have to get up in the morning. So she finds a way and eventually leaves. Like I said, I did try to get sort of to the root of it a little bit. Played a little bit of Dr. Phil, Dr. Rico. You know, was trying to, you know, ascertain, is there a problem? You know, is there something else going on to cause her to, you know, want to gain that kind of weight? Because like I say, it was clearly like sloppy, bad eating. You know, I could tell from pretty good assessment that, you know, she's not pregnant in this case. Even though in another story, y'all know I did deal with an allegation of that, and I pray for her and the family afterwards. And the same way with this one, I pray for her that she sort of gets back on track and gets things under control. And, I don't have, I'm not super superficial when it comes to this. I do have a flexible weight class that I accept or like, or I'm attracted to. From small and petite like she originally was to a little bit taller to a little bit fuller. So if we just want to put pounds out there, you could say anywhere from $105 to $150, $160 sometimes. If they carry it well, is okay with me. So I'm not as particular as some. I do appreciate variety in all types, and I give credits where credit's due. And like I said, I told her a few diet tips if just in case she does want to slim down. And I told her my opinion and my words is, I don't know how to say opinion in Spanish, so I said it so I said basically my words mean nothing. Mi palabras no importa. Tú eres feliz con tu cuerpo. Mi palabra no importa. So basically, she's happy with herself. My opinion means nothing. So thanks for subscribing, y'all. Thanks for watching. But just to let y'all know, yeah, be careful. If you haven't seen somebody in a while, ask for update a picture. Don't just go off something they recently posted online or a WhatsApp profile or whatever. And try to be a little understanding, even though I'm talking a little bit of smack about her or whatever. It's really not out of ill will, and I do try to help her. So thanks for tuning in, y'all. Have a blessed one.